Welcome back to my channel. This is part 1 of making a hidden Tang knife. Alright, so right here I have my basic design. I have a 3-inch Tang right here going into this blade. The plan is down here I'm going to have this faceted ebony wood handle with a brass guard, and then the blade coming out from there. You can see that. Blade in this drawing is maybe a little long, it's just kind of to see how it looks. But right now what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut out a basic shape on this piece of steel. I'm going to cut out the Tang part. And then I'm going to cut an angle into the end like is already here so that I can forge out the blade a little bit. Alright, so I have the forge heating up in the background right here, and I just want to say really quick, if you're a beginner bladesmith, propane's kind of expensive, and then you don't have a good anvil or something like that, this is a really good way to just forge a knife a little bit using both stock removal and forging by just getting like a simple shape like this, having something in mind. Normally I like to cut out my handles because I like to have nice curves in the handle that is just a little difficult to forge. So this is a really awesome way to forge a knife and do stock removal at the same time. So here it is after forging. I put it on this flatter piece of steel just to, make sure it's a little bit more level. I tried to give the knife a little bit of a curve right here going forward. I think it worked a little bit, but we're gonna have to do a little bit of shaping still on the sander, and then we'll be good. Right, so now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take it to my belt sanders. First I'm gonna start with this one just to get all that forge scale off, try to smoothen it out and get all the sides nice and flat. So I need to get all these dents out from the forging. I'm not super good at forging, so I may have missed a couple hits. So first, this one is going to take a lot of the forge scale off, and then my other one has enough of a flat surface where I can put the entire knife up to it and just sand the entire face at once, so that will even it out really well. So yeah, let's get to that. bevels on the knife. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take some of this Dykem blue right here. I'm going to put a nice layer of it across the entire knife and across this front edge here. Then I'm going to take a drill bit about the same thickness of the steel, and I'm going to mark it on one side. I'm going to flip the knife over, mark it on the other. That way I'll have two lines, and in between those lines I'll know is the exact center of the knife. And then finally I'm going to take my calipers here, spread them to a distance like about here. That looks pretty good. I'm going to lock them in, and I'm going to set up scribe lines so I know how far back to grind. So I'm going to do that right now. Alright, so I got my bevels ground in pretty well. They might be a little hard to see because all the grind lines are going in one direction. And I also did a little bit more of a flat grind than my original scribe lines. So there's only like maybe a 1/4 of an inch going back of the spine. But sadly, this belt sander is broken. Normally what I would do right now is get all the flat parts, so like down right here, and then this flat part at the back of the spine. I would get all the grinds going straight up and down. That way it makes it easier in hand sanding, because normally you want your hand sanding lines to go up and down. So I'm going to have to figure out another way to do that, or maybe just spend extra time hand sanding it, because the tracking on this is off, so it just goes all the way to the side, and then the friction gets messed up. I think that the axle probably got bent. So anyway, now what we're going to do is moving on to getting the shoulders even. Alright, so now I have the shoulders of my knife evened up. So now I'm going to move on to fitting the tang onto both the guard and the wooden handle. So I'm not a professional at this part because I'm still learning how to do this. This is kind of like my first time really doing it. So I have my center line marked out going this way. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a little bit of super glue, and I'm just going to glue these two parts together so I can slot them both at once. Alright, so I got the brass fitted up. So we have these two pieces. It's not the perfect fit up, and it's a little bit loose, but I'm happy with it. As you can see, I added like that little slot there too, so when you slide it on, the ricasso of the knife can actually sit in. And then we just got nice two pieces. And then now what I'm going to do is I'm going to get the African blackwood, and we're going to drill a hole for the Tang to go into that. Alright, so basically I have this super long drill bit right here. I have this blue tape to measure out how deep I need to go. Then I have my block. I put my rest for my drill press as far down as it could go. So now I'm just going to start drilling holes for the handle. So it's been a couple of weeks since I really had any time to work on this a ton, but I finally have the handle block fitting on. The guard is maybe a little bit loose, so I'll probably do a little bit of adjustment off camera and cleaning up the blade a little bit, doing a little bit of bevel grinding before part 2. But this is going to be the end of part 1, so if you want to stick around and watch part 2 where I'm going to do heat treating on the blade, yeah, subscribe and like so you can get notified when I post that.